whatever you do, don't tell anybody about your YouTube channel. They'll take the wind out of your sails. They'll say, gee, I did watch it half through, which destroys the algorithm, for example. Anyway, they'll say, I don't want to offend you, so, I'm kind of careful about telling you what I think about it. Stuff like that. Or, I would lovingly give you feedback, lovingly, quote unquote, but I don't want to offend you. Just don't tell anybody. Let it grow organically. Attract people across the world who are interested, but don't tell your friends or family until you got 1 million subscribers and you're a success. But before that, it's very demoralizing and discouraging because they don't give you the support that you need, and it's just best to keep it to yourself. Great women have to go through great trials. Horrible, traumatic things, it seems. In history, I'm talking about. And great women of the Bible who accomplished incredible feats. They had to go through trials first. It's because that's how God molded them to do the tasks that they had before them. The greater the woman, the greater the trial. And it's somewhat relieving to know that, because when a woman goes through trials, she tends to give up. Don't give up. Persevere. Just endure them. They shape you. They teach you things. You'll never be the same after a trauma, especially with men. You had to go through that to be shaped to do God's work, which will be incredible, which will create an amazing new dent. Just go through the trial and become stronger. The trial makes you stronger. And it's just look at the histories of great women. They went through unbelievable things. Things that people would say, I could never have endured that. It's just the way it is. We become stronger than men when we endure those trials and overcome them, and then we gain the strength of a battleship. The trials of great women are usually not about going through a war or something like that. It's always about people problems. People impose on women. People have expectations of women to serve them. I want to serve people, but not according to my wishes, not according to theirs. They'll turn you into a slave. They just expect you to just give up everything for them. No, it's people problems that have to be overcome for a woman. And then she becomes shrewd. Then she skillfully navigates human existence in society. Then she becomes a leader of men. But you have to go through some things first. Just endure them and realize what's happening. God is shaping you for an incredible future. Women who are destined for greatness have to go through the fires of adversity. And I'd be lying if I told you it was going to be a smooth road. It's the path of the hero. There's a canyon, you endure it, and then you go forward into triumphant victory. Fire. It was fire. Fires of adversity. We're just, I guess, naive at first. We're born thinking the world is good and people are good. That's the liberal lie, that people are good. Jesus said, don't call me good, only God is good. Man is not good, God is good. But the New Age said, oh, people are good. That little lie can cost you a few decades of hard learning to see it's not true. People are not good, they have to be trained to be good. That's why if you spare the rod, you ruin the child. You train him up to be good, and then he's always that way. It takes training. It takes overcoming. We just aren't naturally that way. So that's what the fires of adversity are for. If you didn't learn it from your parents, and perhaps it's behind you now. Don't expect more of it. Maybe it's only victory now that you've overcome all that. You may feel like a grasshopper. You may be seen as a grasshopper. But it's the least likely people that God uses to accomplish His greatest purposes. Those that are the least likely to prosper. People think, she'll never be anything. She's crazy. She's stupid. God uses those people to accomplish His great purposes. And those who make it in high school as the most popular, you never hear from them again. It takes years to build this up. Years of overcoming and learning the hard lessons. Life is not always a silver spoon. Those who are born, maybe some people just never have problems. But life is a learning and overcoming and learning and overcoming. And then the least likely becomes the cornerstone of the whole building. The one voted least likely is the cornerstone that the builders rejected as nothing, irrelevant, obsolete. Even when old, you could become the greatest. Don't give up based on how society sees you. Oh, that person's over the hill. That's society speaking. God can use an older person for the biggest things because they've learned the most. In traditional society, the elder was the first seat in the Senate. He was the one that made the decisions. That's the way it should be. An ageist society that looks down on older people is a sick society. But God doesn't go by what the crowd thinks. God goes by what He thinks. So trust God. And even when you think, I'll never be anything, this is over, I'm over the hill, that isn't what God thinks. And He can make things happen very suddenly. You can meet somebody who can change your whole destiny. So never give up. And don't look through the eyes of society. That's just crap. Focus on God only. Great hardships shape us into vessels of honor because we've learned to rely on God only. On the most discouraging day of your life, when everybody's rejected you, put you down, just thought you were worthless, that shapes you to rely only on God, your Father, and that makes you a vessel of honor. So later on, you'll be of great acclaim. The same people who put you down will be applauding. It's shaping you to rely on God, and that's the highest, and that's where the power is. People come and go, they die, they get old, they go to prison, they forget who you are. Don't rely on people, only God. You can go through the worst possible days. You can end up in prison. You can end up in the hospital. You can be in a terrible accident. These things continue to shape you into accomplishing God's purposes on earth. All these things, if they didn't kill you, make you stronger. God is behind it all. In a way, the more unimaginable the hardships, unbelievable things that nobody else could ever endure, that shapes you into accomplishing God's purposes, which are beyond your dreams, things you could never dream of. You went through unimaginable hardships to get there. I don't like weakness, but a woman's strength does not come from her innate abilities. She's not born strong. It comes from what God develops in her by overcoming trials. So trials should be accepted, right? Trials should be make you happy. That's how God is developing things in you. You weren't born that way. It's just the way you're being molded like a piece of clay. And it's a wonderful thing, although it's hard to see it that way at the time. Very rigid societies like Nazi Germany, there was a hatred of art that wasn't exact and personalities that wouldn't adapt. This in itself, which is called, I would call a dense environment, has to be overcome and isn't easy. Sometimes it's life-threatening if you can't adapt to your environment. But there's infinite number of environments. Another environment might celebrate you, your personality. That same personality cannot conform to environment A, worshipped in environment B. You see, they're all different. And this is an early obstacle. We go through early obstacles, we overcome them, then we grow and we mature into other obstacles. But that first environment can be a big one. I had significant losses. Far more than I was able to cogitate because my thinking was so blurred at the time. I had been traumatized. The brain sort of shuts down to the reality of what's happening. But I lost a penthouse, a beautiful thing that I had created. Tiled walls, tiled floors. It was just a beautiful Italian villa in the sky overlooking Balboa Park. I lost that. I lost a Jaguar. I lost friends. I lost family due to things like addictions and bankruptcy, and just things keep piling on you. You know, like if you have a big ego in your 20s and you make it, it's just sort of a glimpse God is giving you of what you can have in the future when you mature. But He gives you that glimpse, and the ego takes over, and you're high in the sky. And suddenly, things fall on you, and they collapse. And there's layers falling on you, then another layer, then another layer. Then the fallen hero syndrome. You fall down, then you see your friends leaving. They were just using you when you were high on the hog. And now they can't even be found. They won't help you. And then that affects your appearance and your looks. Then people really reject you. If you fall into your bag of addictions and devices to avoid anxiety, your maladaptive coping skills, let's call them, things even get worse. Then you hit bottom. This is part of the hero's journey. It's part of life. To overcome self, to overcome self's immature reactions to stress. God tests us. There's obstacles to overcome. If you fall into your bag to overcome it, things get worse. But if you get strong to overcome it, things get better. It's just the way it is. But I had a lot of losses. I lost a university teaching position. I lost grants. I had people steal my ideas. In applying for the grants, they got the grant, I didn't. It was my idea. I wasn't given any credit. Several things like this happened. And then low self-esteem comes in. You lose your audacity, so to speak. I lost my lecturing career because there was no power, there was no juice. I had grasshopper status to myself and to everybody else. So I did have significant losses. But then I say to myself, I wasn't in a concentration camp. I never went to prison. I wasn't amputated in a hospital in a car accident. I mean, I study these things. It makes me feel grateful that I didn't go that low. People have incredible things to overcome that I never went through. But it was significant. So, all right, I've already gone through my canyon. Now I'm going back up again. That's how life has to be viewed. Up and down, then up, 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 up. So after my significant losses, I ended up in a ghost town, living in a 1930s shack. It wasn't even a cabin, it was a shack. And I was happy. I found myself happy. All the noise and glitter was gone. All the fake friends was gone. The phony facade and persona was gone. I didn't even tell people that I had a degree, a doctorate, or anything like that. I just sort of went into a different reality. And I lived in that shack for 26 years. Building up, building back up, becoming a different person, having different goals, not of fame and fortune, but just solid truth and relying on God. God opens my doors now, not me shaking hands to open doors and seeking approval, letting God do it all, relying on Him totally. Because when I open doors, it's a failure. I don't want to fall flat on my face because I'm acting without God's approval and power behind me. Waiting on God, and I'm perfectly happy to wait on God. I grew very happy to walk out of the cabin and look at the moon, look at the stars, look at the mountain vistas, just living in the eternal moment, relying on the elements, the sound of the rain on the tin roof. I'll never forget that. It was just a cheap shack and had a tin roof. And when the rain would come down, it was just like noise, and I loved it. I loved the authenticity of it. I would explore the little shacks around me that have been abandoned for 50 years, looking at the little knickknacks they saved or people who had died previously. It was pure history to me. What other people saw as just something that should be burned down, I saw as very relevant. I could look deep into things and appreciate little things because I had gotten past the big things, seeing through them. This was a brand new reality, and I became a different person, a different kind of a writer, looking at things eternally, appreciating the elements, sun, moon, water, air, the galaxy, the elemental reality, seeing things synchronistically, how things came together. Because I was down to the bare tacks. All of the other was removed. I saw just clear spiritual reality. Today it's raining outside. As a child, I loved walking in the rain. I want to retrieve these loves I had as a child. We should return to who we were when we were children. Sure, we've matured beyond it, but we had talents and likings and affections for things when we were children. That's the true self. What we did was develop a second self. We want to return to the first self. The second self was an adaptation to society, what society wanted, what the society approves of. What we want to do is go back to our first self, our unique self, our true self. And I love walking in the rain and things like that. That's how you become more authentic. So this fake friend said, I mistakenly told her about my videos, and she said, what a phony. She said, well, I would lovingly tell you what I think, but I don't want to hurt your feelings or offend you. Yeah, backhanded compliments, fake friends, lovingly, yeah, tell me all about it. They'll take the wind out of your sails. Forget fake friends. Make room for true, authentic friends. So, I'm waiting for breakthrough, like you all are. It's just a matter of doing what's right in front of you. When you don't know what to do what's right in front of you. God is here. He's leading you. Wait for His voice. Stay still. Don't try to make things happen. Don't hang on to people. You know, people are here for a season. And when they leave, it's often God's will. But we want status quo. We don't want things to change. So we hang on to them and try to persuade them to stay, call them, make sure they're still there, aren't they? Try to get their approval, try to show your importance to them so they'll stay, and no, let them go. That's a sign of maturity, not holding on to people who are leaving, because it's God's will. It doesn't seem like that. It seems like you're being abandoned, but that's not the way it is. Life is seasonal. You have partners that are there for your whole life, hopefully, your spouse, your children. But there are other people who are going to be coming and going. Don't hang on. Thank God that they were there. Don't take revenge and start a smear campaign. That's often what people do. They start a smear campaign. Don't do that. Just be nice and let them go. God will bring something better in. It's God's will. Don't fight it. You may have a friend or a family member who's a narcissist. And narcissists don't mature. They just have venom. They can sting you in gossip called concern or foolish flattery or, fake concern or a backhanded compliment. The velvet glove approach. They're punching you, but they couch it in velvet so you can't tell. And this can infect your system and bring you down for a couple days. You actually feel like you've been stung by something. It can bring you down into lassitude, lost interest, lost fascination, lost creativity, lost motivation. A sting from a pit viper called a narcissist. Man or woman, old or young, it's venom. Your breakthrough can happen after a tremendous step backward. It's so discouraging, you're ready to quit, and suddenly God moves fast and you made your breakthrough. This can happen today, it can happen soon, so never give up. It can happen after a series of accidents. It's a lonely road because people are falling away and all you have is yourself. But that's all you want because you have God then. You're clearing the fog off the screen. Then you can see God. The more people fall away, the more it's just God. That's a good thing. Celebrate. That's a good thing because breakthrough is coming.